Hola,
Hey, what's up?
¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Afortunadamente bien, aquí ya listos.
Okay, that's the extent of my Spanish.
Don't worry, let's talk in English. It's okay.
Okay, but I'm trying, I'm trying to learn a little bit here and there.
How much Spanish do you know? Only the slang or only a little one?
Just poquito. Not a lot of slang. Like, Jesse probably knows more than me, honestly.
How's it going?
I can understand that. How, Jesse? How are you? My name is Gonzalo.
Good, thanks. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Fine, thanks. It's a pleasure to have you here in this conversation today. Let's start, shall we?
Sure.
Well, let's talk about your group. How does Crumb's formed? Tell us about your history, please.
Well, we met just through like playing music together when we were living in the like Boston, Cambridge area in Massachusetts. And that was like around like 5 years ago at this point when we started playing as this project. But yeah, when we first met, it was really just through playing in different forms together, living together, just as friends. So yeah, this was a very non-pressured way to get to this project.
And how do you get along to make some music? How do you know that you have some kind of similitudes and maybe you can go to a way that many of you could get to do some new music and some new rhythms?
Yeah, well, I think it was interesting for all of us because this band was an opportunity for each of us to kind of do things a little differently with music. Like for Leela, she had actually never sang in a project before or really saw herself as like a front person in that way or songwriter singer sort of. But she had these like amazing songs that were like underway when we started meeting up and playing together. And then Bry, who plays keys, uh, was like mostly playing saxophone at this time. So it was very freeing for them to get to play a different instrument. And I think like same for Jonathan and I in some way. So yeah, we just had a lot of common ground.
Yeah.
What do you say?
It was easy. Yeah, please.
Oh no, I just said we just held it down on our normal instruments. So
Yeah. Yeah, no big switch ups.
Well, I would think that in all these roads, a lockdown and a pandemic goes around. How do you arrange to make music and make an album in all this era?
Well, so we started recording it right like a month before California issued the shelter at stay. So we were already like well underway with the recording process, and then it got interrupted. And because we were recording in LA and flying back home was like not an option with Corona, Jesse and Bry stayed out here for months, just waiting for like the order that we could like come back and record. Yeah, so it was just like a lot of in between time like that. But I'd say, at least personally, that like the time when we were recording together, because it's already so intensive, just being in a space together wasn't really affected by the situation outside of just extending it for a long period of time.
I could understand that you make the record before the pandemic, but all this kind of promotion and with the cancel or the cancellation or all this thing that you can play with in a live act and with all the audiences, how does affect all the plans for the band?
Yeah, we kind of like I think we pivoted and we just like to stay busy with like our music and our art, so it gave us more time to invest in like the visual elements and make more music videos and just give more life to the stuff that we can do, I think.
For sure.
Tell me please about the creative process. How did you get along to make one song and another? What was the environment in the studio?
It's kind of like different song by song, and it's different like project to project for us, but a lot of the time it's an idea that starts with like either Lila making a demo idea alone that has like a lyrical chordal melodic thing going on, or on this album sometimes like Bri did that and sent it around as a sort of like relay race, and we kind of like added parts remotely. So some of it is someone bringing an idea, and then like everyone kind of like ping ponging that. We perform it live, which was an interesting thing for this album. Like some of these songs have been with us for a few years now, and we've been like closing our set and kind of like teasing some of these songs in. So yeah, like that's part of our process, is kind of like road testing these songs in a certain way, demoing them in different phases. And then when it came to the studio, we actually demoed the album in its entirety together in just like a few days at our producer Rado's like home base studio. And that was a really good way to just like get familiar with the like space that each song was going to have. And actually some of those recorded elements ended up getting used in the final album. So yeah, it was really cool. And then it gave us a new way to approach the actual recording of the 10 songs.
It is easy to get along with making music and to conciliate with the different points of view of each member of the band.
Yeah, I think it's like it's really really difficult and really rewarding when it like is really working. And I think that we've always had like a really kind of like, I don't want to say democratic, but just like a really nice way of working with each other creatively, and all of the rest of that can like fall into place. But I think that like we have a really good nonverbal musical connection, and if someone has like the kind of like core of the song idea that they're bringing, allowing that person to like kind of like lead the development of that song has like always been something that we do. So yeah, like our roles in the band are always evolving, and the way that we communicate is always like improving. And that's not always so fun and sexy, but I think it's all it's all like really valuable. It's just like, yeah.
Let's see how much do you agree. I want each of you, could you describe it in one word, your music album, please?
Oh.
In one word?
In one word, yeah.
I got one queued up. It's definitely not right, but I want to say embryonic came to mind.
I was just gonna say louder, and then a couple more words than the previous album.
Well, both words could be symbiotic, because when you do something embryonic and louder, it's the path you are willing to do for your next moves. How do you see yourselves in the next 5 years?
It's a good question. I want to shake a crystal ball and find out myself, but no, I really think it's just gonna be more of just like I think what's cool about this project is the well is like not dry in terms of like songs, or like it doesn't feel like it never feels like we're being pressed to make more material. So I think that there's always this like rollover of songs that are like in the works, or like whether they're like little interlude ideas or new things that come up in the time like in between recording. Yeah, I think it's just gonna be more of the same. Just like keeping the recording really strong, playing with the best way to like visually present that to people, and God willing, just performing live and connecting with people again.
Have you now planned your first live act, and how it would be?
Yeah, well, we just announced a couple shows with these great groups, Chicano Batman and Innerwave. And then we've got some more stuff to come. It's really hard to imagine what it's going to be like to return to live music, but obviously very inspiring and promising to picture it actually approaching, because I've been trying to keep it out of head for so long, since it's been like off the table. But yeah, we're definitely excited to get back out there.
Well, my time is running out, so I have 3 questions for you. What was the food you ate the most in this lockdown?
Food.
Ooh, I like that.
Recently, I've been making guacamole. So that's like getting up there. Like I make really good guac, and that's been perfected by the whole pandemic.
How is your recipe of your guacamole? I'm curious about that.
Right. So I went to YouTube and I found the first Mexican person who looked like they knew what they were doing. And so I got it from him, and it's like avocados, lime, serranos, Roma tomatoes, and then white onions. Oh, and cilantro.
And cilantro, some people don't like cilantro in the guacamole, but it could be.
Team cilantro, okay, definitely team cilantro.
Cilantro or perejil? Do you know the difference between the two of them?
No, what was the second word? Perejil?
Perejil. Here in Mexico is one of the 2 herbs that it's used the most in Mexican food. Cilantro and perejil.
Nice. No, I don't think so. I want to try that. I love the cilantro matcha, the different kind of cilantro that you can find sometimes. But I've also been getting into in the pandemic, definitely growing or regrowing my kitchen herbs and onions. So that's not the best answer for what I've been eating, but been all about replanting my leeks, green onions, cilantro, for example.
Very healthy, the both of you. If you have to recommend a series that you saw in the pandemic, what would it be?
Ooh,
The Last Kingdom.
Oh man, a series? That's so hard. Oh, I really can't. I've really been enjoying what's the name? I really just go down so many rabbit holes of food television on like streaming platforms.
What's your most streaming service that you use in this lockdown? I'm curious about that also.
Our brand affiliation. I'm such a leech. I just queue up all of my family's login information. I just source it from everyone.
I would think that your fans are willing to give you their passwords of any streaming service that they have.
I really like having my brother has a baby, so I've really been enjoying their Disney Plus subscription. That's a little ray of sunshine in the
pandemic. That's nice. And to finish this, if you have to describe your band in 5 words, what would it be?
Ooh. Let me count in my head. Okay, you first, Jonathan.
I was just gonna say unpredictable.
5 times.
That's unpredictable.
That's really cheating. I'll say trying really hard for honesty. Is that good?
It's
More of a
great because
sentence, like a descriptive word.
I can't put 5 adjectives next to each other.
Yeah.
but it's great because I think that right now in the music business there is so lack of honesty that knowing someone that it's trying so hard to give it to the audience, it's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Well, guys, it's a pleasure to know you, and I hope to see you in person in the near future.
Oh, likewise, Gonzalo. Thank you so much for your time.
No, thanks to you, and take a good one, please.
All right.
You too. Take care.
Goodbye.
Gracias, Gonzalo. Chao.
Adios.